They say love strikes when you least expect it, and sometimes, it happens right in front of the cameras. Welcome to a world where Hollywood magic spills off the screen and into real life. In this video, we're diving into the unforgettable romances that sparked on movie sets, from silver screen legends to today's biggest stars. These behind-the-scenes love stories prove that sometimes, the most powerful chemistry isn't scripted. If you're a fan of heartwarming Hollywood moments and real-life fairy tales, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more stories that capture the magic of love and film. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, a Hollywood love story that started with a flop and sparked a fairy tale. It wasn't the box office success of Green Lantern that made headlines, it was the spark behind the scenes. In 2011, amidst a movie that quickly faded from memory, something far more lasting began. The real-life love story of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. At the time, both were navigating their own romantic chapters. Ryan was fresh off a divorce from Scarlett Johansson, and Blake was dating Leonardo DiCaprio. Still, on set, their connection was instant, not romantic, but rooted in laughter, ease, and genuine friendship. They joked, supported each other through long filming days, and never crossed the line. But what no one could see coming was that this playful friendship was quietly laying the groundwork for something much deeper. A year later, the stars aligned. Both were single, and fate stepped in with a hilariously awkward double date. As Ryan once recalled, "We were on a double date with other people." But by the end of the night, it was clear, to them and everyone else, that the real chemistry wasn't with their dates. "It was like fireworks," he said. And just like that, their friendship turned into something far more powerful. What followed was refreshingly drama-free. No scandals. No tabloid frenzy. Just two people falling in love, quietly and sincerely. In September 2012, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony in South Carolina, surrounded by close friends and family. Today, Ryan and Blake are parents to 4 children and still manage to be one of Hollywood's most grounded, beloved couples. Fans adore their playful jabs at each other on social media, but beneath the humor lies a deep, unshakable bond built on mutual respect, trust, and love. Their story is living proof that sometimes, real love doesn't need fireworks or fanfare. Sometimes, it just starts with friendship, a failed superhero film, and the kind of spark that never fades. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, the scandal that redefined Hollywood romance. It began on the explosive set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a high-octane action flick where 2 secret assassins fall for each other. But off-camera, a far more scandalous story was unfolding. In 2005, sparks flew between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, not just on screen, but behind the scenes, and the world took notice. The problem? Brad was still very much married to America's sweetheart, Jennifer Aniston. Brad and Jen weren't just a couple, they were Hollywood royalty. Their relationship symbolized everything the public adored: glamour, stability, and fairy tale romance. So when whispers started swirling that Brad and Angelina's chemistry was more than just good acting, it sent shockwaves through pop culture. Tabloids had a field day, but Brad and Angelina insisted they were simply co-stars, nothing more. But then came the plot twist no one could ignore. Just months after the film's release, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation. Days later, paparazzi photos surfaced of Brad vacationing with Angelina and her adopted son, Maddox. The message was clear: the on-screen fantasy had become a real-life love story. Branded Brangelina by a media hungry for headlines, they quickly became the most talked-about couple on the planet. More than just actors, Brad and Angelina transformed into global icons, raising 6 children together, 3 biological and 3 adopted from around the world, supporting humanitarian causes, and commanding red carpets with unmatched star power. In 2014, after nearly a decade together, they finally said, "I do," in a private ceremony at their French chateau. But the fairy tale didn't last. Just 2 years later, in 2016, Angelina filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. What followed was a bitter, high-profile custody battle that played out across headlines and courtrooms alike. Though their marriage ended, the legend of Brangelina endures. Their love story, born in scandal, forged in fame, and unraveled in heartbreak, remains one of the most unforgettable chapters in Hollywood history. A tale of passion, betrayal, and two stars whose romance changed the celebrity landscape forever. Tom Holland and Zendaya. From on-screen sparks to real-life romance. What started as a charming on-screen partnership has quietly blossomed into one of Hollywood's most beloved real-life love stories. Tom Holland and Zendaya, once just co-stars in Spider-Man: Homecoming, 2017, have captured the hearts of fans around the world with a romance that feels refreshingly authentic in an industry often fueled by headlines and hype. The two first met on the set of Spider-Man, where Tom played the wide-eyed Peter Parker and Zendaya brought a modern edge to MJ. Right from the beginning, their playful banter, undeniable chemistry, and easy friendships sparked endless rumors. Yet, time and again, both stars insisted they were just friends. For years, the world watched as they attended premieres side by side, teased each other in interviews, and shared quiet moments behind the scenes. Fans couldn't help but wonder if there was more to the story, and they were right. In July 2021, the speculation finally ended. Paparazzi snapped photos of the pair sharing a tender kiss at a red light in Los Angeles, sending the internet into a frenzy. What many had long suspected was now undeniable. Tom and Zendaya's friendship had bloomed into something deeper. Since then, the couple has chosen to keep their relationship grounded and mostly private, offering only small but meaningful glimpses into their bond. Whether it's Tom publicly celebrating Zendaya's Emmy-winning role in Euphoria, or Zendaya supporting Tom's record-breaking run as Spider-Man, their connection is built on admiration, respect, and shared growth. Today, Tom Holland and Zendaya are more than just Hollywood's it couple. They're a reminder that the strongest relationships often begin with friendship, grow quietly behind the scenes, and flourish when the timing is just right. As they juggle superstardom with a down-to-earth love, their story continues to inspire, real, rare, and beautifully unscripted. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, a Hollywood love story that broke all the rules. In a town where relationships flicker and fade like flashbulbs on a red carpet, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn have written a love story that stood the test of time, without ever saying "I do." Their journey began in 1966 on the set of the one and only, genuine, original Family Band. Goldie was 21, full of laughter and promise. Kurt was just 16, still finding his footing. There was a spark, but nothing more. The timing just wasn't right. Fast forward nearly 2 decades to 1983, fate gave them a second chance on the set of Swing Shift. This time, everything clicked. Goldie had blossomed into America's sweetheart, and Kurt had grown into the kind of leading man Hollywood adores, rugged, charming, and real. During filming, their easy friendship reignited into something deeper, and they fell hard. But here's where their story breaks the mold. Even after nearly 40 years together, they've never married. Not because they don't believe in love, but because they believe in their kind of love. A love rooted in trust, respect, laughter, and the freedom to just be. As Goldie once said, "We've done just perfectly without marrying. I already feel devoted." Kurt echoed the sentiment, saying, "For people like us, the marriage certificate wasn't going to create anything that otherwise we wouldn't have." Together, they've built a beautiful, blended family, raising their son Wyatt and embracing Goldie's children from a previous marriage, Kate and Oliver Hudson, as their own. And when they starred side by side in the 1987 classic Overboard, the world got a front-row seat to their undeniable chemistry. Now, decades later, they're still going strong. Whether they're holding hands on a red carpet or laughing over dinner with their grandkids, Kurt and Goldie remind us that real love doesn't have to follow the rules. They've never needed a wedding to prove their devotion, just each other. In a world full of fleeting fame and scripted romance, theirs is a rare and radiant truth. Love, when it's real, writes its own story. Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes, a love story that thrived in silence. In a world where celebrity romances are often splashed across headlines, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes chose a different path, quiet, intentional, and deeply personal. Their love story began in 2011 on the set of The Place Beyond the Pines, where they portrayed a couple grappling with the complexities of family and fate. On screen, their chemistry was electric. But behind the scenes, something even more powerful was unfolding. A real-life connection that neither fame nor cameras could capture. From the very beginning, Ryan and Eva made a bold choice: to keep their relationship out of the public eye. No red carpet overexposure. No gushing interviews. Just a quiet commitment to each other and the life they were building together. While Hollywood buzzed with rumors, the couple remained gracefully silent, letting their love grow far from the flash of paparazzi lenses. Their bond only deepened with time. In 2014, they welcomed their first daughter, Esmeralda Amada. 2 years later came their second, Amada Lee. Through it all, Ryan remained steadfast in his devotion to his family, often praising Eva for creating a warm, grounded home that gave him strength both on and off screen. Though they've never rushed into marriage or made grand public declarations, their actions speak louder than any headline. In the rare moments they do speak about one another, it's with quiet admiration and unwavering respect. Their relationship is built not on spectacle, but on substance. On shared values, mutual trust, and a fierce dedication to raising their children away from the chaos of Hollywood. In an age of overexposure, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes have become something rare, a couple admired not for their fame, but for their authenticity. Their love story is proof that sometimes the strongest relationships are the ones that don't need to be performed, they just need to be lived. Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz. A Spanish love story written by fate. Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz's love story is one of those rare, slow-burning romances that feels like it was written by the stars themselves. Their paths first crossed in 1992 on the set of Jamon Jamon, a sultry Spanish drama that launched Penelope's career. Though their chemistry was electric on screen, off-screen they remained nothing more than colleagues, at least at the time. For years, their lives ran parallel. Two of Spain's most celebrated actors, crossing paths again and again through the film world, never quite aligning until destiny stepped in. In 2008, they reunited in Vicky Cristina Barcelona, playing tempestuous lovers under Woody Allen's direction. But this time, art didn't just imitate life. It became life. Their connection reignited, stronger, deeper, and impossibly real. Despite their global fame, Javier and Penelope kept their romance hidden from the headlines. No red carpet declarations, no flashy tabloids, just quiet, growing love. In 2010, they sealed their bond in an intimate, secret wedding in the Bahamas, far from the flashing lights. Together, they've built a beautiful life. 2 children, a handful of unforgettable films, and a partnership grounded not just in passion, but in profound respect. Whether they're co-starring on screen or cheering each other on from the sidelines, their devotion never wavers. What makes their love story so powerful isn't just the glamour or the talent, it's the balance. The way they fiercely protect their private world while thriving in one of the most public industries. Over a decade into marriage, Javier and Penelope remain one of Hollywood's most admired couples. Their journey is a timeless reminder. Sometimes, love doesn't arrive in a whirlwind. Sometimes, it waits patiently, quietly walking beside you for years, until the right moment finally arrives and everything falls into place. Kit Harington and Rose Leslie, a Game of Thrones love story that transcended the screen. In a world built on dragons, betrayal, and war, one of the most magical things to come out of Game of Thrones wasn't written in the script. It was the love story between Kit Harington and Rose Leslie. They met in 2012, cast as Jon Snow and Ygritte, 2 star-crossed lovers from opposing worlds. On screen, their romance was intense, passionate, and ultimately doomed. But off-screen, fate had other plans. During Season 2, the cast filmed in the breathtaking, snow-covered landscapes of Iceland. For Kit, those remote, frozen mountains weren't just a dramatic backdrop for epic battles. They were where he fell in love. In later interviews, he confessed that it was during those weeks in Iceland that he realized his feelings for Rose were real. For a while, they kept their relationship under wraps. But their chemistry was impossible to ignore. Fans speculated. Paparazzi snapped quiet moments. The rumors only grew louder. Then in 2016, Kit and Rose confirmed what many had already guessed, stepping out together at public events, no longer hiding their connection. 2 years later, in June 2018, they were married in a fairy tale ceremony at Rose's ancestral castle in Scotland. Surrounded by friends, family, and many of their Game of Thrones co-stars, the couple said, "I do," where history and fantasy collided in the most romantic way. Today, Kit and Rose are proud parents of 2 children and fiercely protective of their privacy. They've built a life far from the cameras, focused on love, family, and staying grounded in a world obsessed with fame. Their story, from epic television lovers to real-life soulmates, is one of the most beloved romances to emerge from the show. And while Jon Snow and Ygritte's love ended in tragedy, Kit and Rose proved that sometimes, even in the most dramatic of worlds, a true and lasting love can rise from the ashes. Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan, a love story that danced into our hearts. Their story began the way all great romances should, on the dance floor. When Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan met on the set of Step Up in 2006, it wasn't just choreography that lit up the screen, it was chemistry. Their fiery connection, captured in every electrifying move and smoldering glance, quickly spilled beyond the camera. What started as rehearsals and late-night laughs turned into something real, something magnetic. After filming wrapped, their friendship blossomed into a whirlwind romance that fans couldn't get enough of. They weren't just a couple, they were the couple. Passionate, playful, and deeply in sync, Channing and Jenna embodied relationship goals for an entire generation raised on dance movies and dreams of true love. In 2009, the pair sealed their fairy tale with a stunning outdoor wedding in Malibu. From red carpet appearances to candid snapshots of everyday life, their love felt both magical and relatable. And when they welcomed their daughter Everly in 2013, their bond only seemed to deepen. Despite the pressures of fame and demanding careers, they prioritized family, openly sharing the highs and lows of parenting in the spotlight. But even fairy tales have plot twists. In 2018, after nearly 9 years of marriage, Channing and Jenna announced their separation. The news broke hearts, but not their mutual respect. Their divorce was finalized in 2019, yet they continued to co-parent Everly with grace, love, and unwavering support. Though their romantic chapter came to a close, the story they wrote together remains one of Hollywood's most iconic on-screen to real-life love stories. A romance born from a dance, celebrated by millions, and remembered not just for how it ended, but for the joy, love, and legacy it left behind. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, once a superhero love story, now an unshakable bond of friendship. Their journey began like many great Hollywood romances, on a movie set. The two first crossed paths in 2001 while filming Pearl Harbor, but their spark didn't truly ignite until fate brought them together again on the set of Daredevil in 2003. On screen, Ben embodied the blind vigilante Matt Murdock, while Jennifer brought fierce elegance to the role of Elektra. Off-screen, their chemistry was undeniable, and soon it blossomed into a real-life romance. By the mid-2000s, Ben and Jennifer had become one of Hollywood's most adored couples. Their down-to-earth charm, genuine affection, and effortless connection stood out in an era filled with flashy celebrity relationships. In 2005, they sealed their love with an intimate wedding in Turks and Caicos. Together, they built a beautiful family, welcoming 3 children, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel. Both often spoke about their desire to shield their family from the relentless glare of fame, choosing to focus on creating a grounded, loving home. Yet, even the strongest love stories can face storms. After 10 years of marriage, the couple announced their separation in 2015, finalizing their divorce in 2018. But unlike many Hollywood breakups, Ben and Jennifer refused to let heartbreak define them. Instead, they chose to remain partners in the truest sense, devoted co-parents and trusted friends. From attending their children's school events side by side to publicly supporting each other's journeys, they've shown the world that love can evolve without disappearing. Their story is a rare testament to grace, maturity, and respect. It reminds us that while not every romance is destined to last forever, the bonds we build, with care and heart, can transform into something even more meaningful, a partnership that always puts family first. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. From teenage co-stars to real-life soulmates. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher's love story feels like it was written for the big screen, but it's all real. Their journey began back in 1998, when they met as teenagers on the set of that '70s show. Mila was just 14 when she landed the role of Jackie Burkhart, and Ashton, 19 at the time, played her goofy on-screen boyfriend, Michael Kelso. In a twist of fate, Mila's very first kiss, ever, happened on camera, and it was with Ashton. But off-screen, they were simply friends. For years, their real-life dynamic couldn't have been more different from their flirty TV characters. After the show wrapped, they each went their separate ways. Mila dated actor Macaulay Culkin, and Ashton married actress Demi Moore. It wasn't until 2012, after Ashton's divorce, that destiny stepped back in. What began as a casual reconnecting of old friends slowly transformed into something deeper. They often joke that their romance mirrored the very films they starred in, Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached, where close friendships unexpectedly blossom into love. By 2015, they made it official in a private, intimate ceremony. Since then, Mila and Ashton have welcomed 2 children and built a life grounded not in Hollywood glitz, but in honesty, humor, and simplicity. Despite their fame, they're known for their refreshingly down-to-earth take on parenting and marriage. What makes their story so timeless is how it grew, slowly, naturally, and rooted in genuine friendship. From a shy teenage kiss on set to building a family together, Mila and Ashton remind us that sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones that take their time. Today, they remain one of Hollywood's most beloved couples, admired for their authenticity, playfulness, and the unshakable bond they've shared for over 20 years. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar, the 90s love story that never faded. In a town where most Hollywood romances flicker and fade, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar are the rare exception, a love story that quietly stood the test of time. Their journey began in 1997 on the set of the cult teen slasher I Know What You Did Last Summer. Back then, they were just 2 rising stars, trading lines and laughs, with no hint of romance. Just an easy, genuine friendship that would lay the foundation for something deeper. For 3 years, Freddie and Sarah remained close friends, cheering each other on through the highs and lows of young fame. No drama, no headlines, just a quiet bond built on respect, humor, and trust. Then in 2000, a casual dinner, never meant to be a date, turned into the spark that changed everything. From that night on, their friendship bloomed into something more. By the early 2000s, they weren't just co-stars or friends. They were one of the most beloved couples of the era. To fans of 90s pop culture, they were the real-life fairy tale. 2 grounded, charming souls who found love off-screen after making us scream on screen. In 2002, they sealed the deal with a private wedding in Mexico, far from the flashing bulbs of the tabloids. Unlike many Hollywood couples, Freddie and Sarah chose a different path, one of quiet devotion. They stepped back from the spotlight to build a real life together, raising 2 children and focusing on what mattered most, family. Their ability to keep things private, to stay out of the drama, may just be the secret to their enduring bond. Through the years, they've shared sweet glimpses of their love, anniversary tributes, playful banter in the kitchen, and even teaming up for projects like Star Wars Rebels. But they've never sought attention. Instead, they've earned admiration for something far more rare, a love that lasts. Today, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar aren't just a throwback to a golden age of teen movies. They're proof that sometimes, the strongest love stories are the ones that begin as friendships and grow far away from the noise. Steady, sincere, and built to last. Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz, a love story rekindled by fate. Sometimes, the best love stories don't begin with fireworks, but with friendship. Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz had known each other for years, moving in the same tight-knit circles of British theater, sharing mutual friends and professional respect. But for the longest time, romance wasn't even on the table. That changed in the most unexpected way. In 2010, The two were cast as husband and wife in the haunting psychological thriller Dream House. As they stepped into the roles of a couple grappling with buried secrets, something began to shift. The emotional intensity of the scenes, the long hours on set, and their shared passion for acting reignited a connection neither of them had seen coming. What had once been just friendship quietly transformed into something deeper, something real. But unlike the tabloid-fueled love stories of Hollywood, Daniel and Rachel chose silence over spectacle. In June 2011, they stunned the world by tying the knot in a top-secret ceremony so intimate, only 4 guests attended, including Daniel's daughter and Rachel's son from previous relationships. No paparazzi. No headlines. Just love. Since then, they've kept their bond fiercely private, rarely appearing together at public events and shielding their family life from the spotlight. In 2018, they welcomed their first child together, a baby girl who brought their quiet happiness full circle. Despite their global fame, Daniel as the iconic James Bond and Rachel as an Academy Award-winning actress, they've never let the glitz of Hollywood interfere with what matters most, protecting the life they've built together. Over a decade later, Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz remain one of the industry's most quietly admired couples. Their story isn't just about love, it's about timing, trust, and the magic that can happen when a lifelong friendship meets the right moment. Thanks for watching Exposed Hollywood. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got more untold tales coming your way. See you in the next video.